like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So here is your review of Raw and SmackDown week commencing the 15th of May. So it starts off with a flashback with Roman Reigns calling out the Usos. Obviously not happy with what's been happening and saying him and Solo will face KO and Sami Zayn at Night of Champions, and obviously the Usos are not happy. Then Sami Zayn and KO come out. Basically Sami says he's surprised because him and KO should have beaten Roman Reigns. Obviously, he should have beaten Roman Reigns previously when they fought him, but obviously they're saying Roman Reigns is cheating for to obviously keep his titles, and says Roman Reigns needs to be checked. And Roman Reigns is greedy because all he wants is all the titles in the world. He wants all the titles in the WWE, but he said they are not going to have those tag team titles. Then the Judgment Day come out and basically says after they're done with Roman Reigns and Solo, if somehow they manage to win, they said they want first cracks at the tag team championships. And then basically it turned into a fight, and then KO grabbed the chair. So yeah, and then backed off the Judgment Day. So then the first match was The Miz versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a very good match, which Shinsuke won. So congratulations to Shinsuke. Then we see Chelsea and Sonya in the back saying they're upset they can't get a tag team match because, or a tag team title match because Liv Morgan is now injured. So they basically said, Raquel, you better fight tonight. And Rochelle calls out Chelsea. Then we have the Imperium and Gunther pull up at the arena. So we'll see what they say later. Then there was an interview segment with Corey Graves and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins basically talks about his history, how he turned on the Shield, and why he turned on the Shield, and why he should be champion. Then we have the Imperium come out. Basically, there's no challengers for Gunther at the moment on Raw, but there's going to be a battle royal that will determine the next challenger and that rightful owner to the #1 contendership to the IC Championship. So Gunther said he will be there watching with the Imperium. So then we had the Battle Royal match. It featured some of the main people in there was Ricochet, Matt Riddle, Apollo, Welcome Back Apollo, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Alpha Academy, Viking Raiders, Lefarios, MMM, Baron Corbin was there, Mustafa Ali, Tozawa, Elias, Dexter, JD, Ziggler, Wanga, Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano, Madcap Moss. Really good match. Go and watch. I haven't seen it, but in the end, Mustafa Ali actually wins. Wow! So congratulations to Mustafa. He seems to be doing well, so I'm happy for him. So it's going to be Ali versus Gunther for the IC Championship at the Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Then we get a flashback of Brock Lesnar attacking Cody Rhodes. Obviously, we know what's going to happen there. Then we get Becky Lynch basically walking up to come out to address the crowd. Then it's announced that on SmackDown it's going to be Roman and Solo facing off with Sami Zayn and KO. So I'll review that in a minute. Then Becky Lynch comes out, says he's been away, she's had some struggles, she's had some things to deal with, but she's glad that Trish Stratus did what she did because it's now woke her up and built that fire back up in her belly and in her heart. And she said she wants Trish Stratus at Night of Champions. Then we have Rhea Ripley. She's getting interviewed. Then it's interrupted by Natalya. Natalya turns up and basically calls out Rhea Ripley for attacking on people like Dana Brooke the other week. And basically Rhea Ripley says she's only interrupting her because she wants to be relevant again. So we will see what happens. Then we have Mustafa Ali mocking Alpha Academy because obviously he won the Battle Royal. Then he runs into the Imperium. The Imperium basically mocking him, saying, we're going to travel all the way to Saudi Arabia to lose. And then basically Ali said the same thing to Gunther. So we will see what happens. Then we have Xavier Woods versus Dominic Mysterio in a decent match. But obviously there was interference from Rhea Ripley and Dominic wins. Then we have JD, the Irish Ace, basically been asked why he attacked Ziggler. And he says, because he's here to make a statement. So we will see. Then we had Indusher versus some guys. Indusher, if that's how you pronounce it. They basically demolished these guys. And Jinder Mahal is their manager. It's crazy. He's gone from a world champion to a manager. So hopefully Jinder gets back into the ring. He was really good. Then we have Sami Zayn and KO get confronted by Gunther. Gunther's basically confronted him about the disrespect he's been given to his boys. And KO gives him more disrespect. But Gunther actually sees to show respect. So We'll see. That might play a factor at the Night of Champions. We'll see. Then Cody Rhodes comes out, basically calls out Brock, tells a story about a frog and a scorpion. Go and watch it. I don't have time to go through it right now. And then basically he says Brock was the big thing, but the end was the next big thing. But Cody has beaten Brock, and he said Brock is better than most wrestlers, 99% of most wrestlers in the back, but he wasn't better than Cody Rhodes at Backlash. And then says basically Brock isn't the big thing anymore, and he needs to get out of Cody's way. So we'll see. Then we have Zoe and Candice in the back having a back and forth, so that'll be a match happening probably next week. Then we had Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green in a decent match, but Raquel won. Then Raquel was walking to the back. She got jumped by Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler as they want their title shots. So we'll see. Then we had Imperium shaking hands with Paul Heyman. So there might be some kind of team happening there, some kind of collusion happening there. Then we had the other segment of the Seth Rollins interview. Seth Rollins basically says the fans are behind him and they need a change in champion. They need a champion who's going to take more risks and stop sticking to the status quo. But I think it seems like Seth Rollins on a movie set, so they've done this interview segment. They're probably going to play for 2 weeks while he's on a movie set, and then he'll be back. So we'll see what happens there. Then in the main event of the evening, it was Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn and KO in a really good match, but there was interference from Dominic and Rhea, who both got ejected, and then Dominic was attacked by Xavier, and then Paul Heyman comes out and Imperium comes out. Gunther interferes, so in the end, Finn Balor gets the pin. Then we move on to SmackDown. SmackDown starts with Roman Reigns and Solo, and Paul Heyman comes out. Suspicious in there not being there is the Usos not being there. I'm not sure why in their absence. It's noted that Roman's hold the title now for 992 days. So basically, as soon as they come out, KO and Sami Zayn come out straight away, and Roman says they should just acknowledge Roman Reigns, leave the tag team titles, and leave the arena. And then KO just wanted to fight. He dropped his title. He just wanted to fight. Sami just says he regretted not hitting Roman sooner with the chair. Obviously, that didn't happen, and Roman said the same thing, how he regretted all the time wasted on Sami, and it resulted in this. As they started to get into it, the Usos came in and jumped KO and Sami Zayn. Roman Reigns didn't seem to be happy about that, and he even bumped into Solo. So, God, no idea what's going to happen there. Then in the back, it shows Roman's really angry because he didn't say to the Usos to jump in and jump Sami Zayn and KO, because Roman said he had more things to say to him and get off his chest that he's been building up since the Elimination Chamber. So, and he just kicks the Usos out of the room. Then we had the Brutes versus Pretty Deadly in a decent match, which Pretty Deadly won. Congratulations to them. Then there was a tribute to superstar Billy Graham, who passed away recently, RIP. He's basically the guy who Hulk Hogan stole his idea and his look from, basically. Then we had Zelina versus Oscar in a decent match, which Oscar won. And then Oscar wouldn't break the hold, and then Bianca Belair came down for the save. Then we had Grayson Waller, the Effect Show, interviewing AJ Styles, basically saying AJ Styles said he was away because he was injured. It's been the longest time he's been away injured, but now he's back and he's getting after it. And while Seth Rollins there on a movie set, well, congratulations to him, AJ Styles is here putting in the work. And then basically Grayson says he feels Seth is going to win. Then the LWO in the back talking they're ready for the Usos in a match. Then we had Street Profits versus LA Knight and Rick Boost in a decent match, but in the end the Street Profits won, and LA Knight then got a beat down Rick Boost for that for the loss. Then we had Grimes basically very hype and very happy over his win last week against Baron Corbin. Then we have Karrion Kross now calling out and saying he's coming for AJ Styles, but refers to him in his government name as Alan. So hopefully he doesn't interfere in the Night of Champions, because that's not going to be good. Then we had Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar flashback. Obviously Cody Rhodes called him out. Then we had a tag team match with an NXT tag team champions, Alba and Isla, versus some chicks, which Alba won. Then Liv Morgan has now been rendered injured, so she's going to be out. She's going to have to forfeit the titles. So there's going to be a four-way match on Raw to determine new women's tag team championships. Then we have the Damage Control calling out Raquel. Basically said they want a match. Then we have Austin Theory comes out. He says basically he should have been the one facing Seth, but he was jumped and ganged upon by Bobby Lashley and Sheamus, two former world champions. Sheamus comes out and doesn't say anything, just bro kicks Austin Theory, and that's it. Walks away. Then we have the Usos in the back getting ready for their match in the main event. Paul Heyman saying, listen, they need to go out there and win because the Tribal Chief is not happy, but the Tribal Chief has forgiven the Usos for what they did, but they need to win to solidify things and smooth things over. But in the main event of the evening, the Usos versus the LWO, it was a really good match, but there was interference from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that actually cost the Usos the match. So in the end, the LWO get the victory. What is going to happen next week with Roman Reigns? It's not going to be good. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment.